obviously hats off to Houston, their program, Coach Sampson. The respect that I have for how those guys play and how they compete couldn't be higher. You know, when you come into a team and you're playing a team that's very well coached and very tough and very physical, you need to be at your absolute best. And our guys are really locked in our preparation. And I felt like our ability to take care of the basketball, share the basketball, and then, you know, guys making obviously big plays and big shots down the stretch allowed us to come out with the win. So just really proud of our team for their continued focus, how they play for one another, and look, staying the course when we're down 10. Everybody in that huddle had tremendous belief we're going to win the game. So just really proud of our guys.
Just going to reference that when they go up 10 with Sharp on the bench, with other guys contributing, they obviously a team with a lot of contributors, but to say that you guys believed the whole time you could win the game when they're accustomed to being like, this is where we put a team away, what does it say about the way you guys responded to that?
Yeah, well, first, I also like to thank our fan base. I mean, the energy in the building and playing in front of the best fans in the country and knowing that they're behind us. And so every big play we made, you just felt that energy continue to culminate. And then Nate Heisy hits the three with a minute and whatever it is to go, and you feel like the place is going to explode. And so I think, you know, our guys, you know, look, they work extremely hard every day. They love being around each other. They care about one another. They invest time in those relationships. The trust they have one another, you see, and, you know, Dom played a making big play down the stretch, and Jamarian Bateman making a big shot, and Nate Heisy. I mean, those are guys coming off the bench for us that, you know, everybody believes in. So, look, I mean, they do a great job as a program in terms of how they close out games, you know, but tonight our guys had more resiliency. Our guys had more togetherness. Our fans deserve a lot of credit. Just fortunate enough to make, you know, one more play to come out with the win.
And Nate's three, you referenced, I think, the shot clocks. I think the fans are even talking about the fans that are going 3, 2, 1, boom, it goes up. Just how difficult can it be to make that kind of shot in this type of game, in that type of situation?
Yeah, I think over and over again when somebody asks the question, what do we need to do to be at our absolute best and to keep getting better? I think my common answer has been Nate Heisy is the key. Nate Heisy is the guy that I've got tremendous confidence in. I have tremendous belief in what he can do. I appreciate our relationship very much and how coachable he is and how much he responds to that coaching, but he's going to continue to play great for us down the stretch. And he certainly did that, not just because of that last shot. I thought what he brought from an energy standpoint in the first half and defensively and on the glass was phenomenal. But when you play with that level of aggressiveness, things tend to go your way. So just really proud of him being ready for that moment, for that shot. I mean, there was no doubt in his mind. As that ball was on the way, you could see him set and load, and he was locked in. So, man, it's a credit to him, what an unbelievable young man he is and how much he cares about his team winning and big play in a big moment.
TJ, to follow up on that, when Nate came in here, you could see how red his eye was from the contact that he had in the first half. How special has it been to see his toughness grow throughout this time of games?
Yeah, I don't want to shed too much light on it, but he, you know, we just put him in the game, right, in early in that second half and wanted him in as quick as we could. And then in my mind, I saw him get, you know, I see him get hit, certainly, and I'm going to go over to him and I'm going to say, oh, it's fine. There's nothing there. I don't see anything. And then I looked at his eye. I'm like, oh, boy, I got to fake this a little bit, right? Like, I got to make it look like I'm not looking at that thing and it doesn't look as bad. I'm like, no, you look fine, right? And so, you know, I went over to him and said, man, we need you on that court. So you tell me when you're ready to go and we'll put you in. And he said, just give me a minute and we'll get ready to go. And like I said, tonight, I think of all the games for him as a Cyclone, I think tonight stands out as the one that's probably the most elite because all the winning plays, we knew the rebounding was going to be important. He had so many big rebounds down the stretch. Defensively, he's got such a great presence guarding the basketball, and obviously the timely shots and just overall the confidence he's playing with was awesome.
Of course, these last 3 days have been a whirlwind with 2 top 10 wins, but the tough stretch that I've asked you about once upon a time continues. How can this team continue to adapt and continue to shine out in Utah?
Yeah, look, the tough stretch started when Big 12 play started. This league is, you know, it's real. And again, we've had some years, and this year it is it is strong. Every night out, it's a heavyweight fight going on the road. You're playing really tough teams with, it's hard to win. You feel like you got to play perfect on the road, but for us, it's just about staying humble. It's about staying in our practice habits, staying connected as a group, keeping our focus where it needs to be. It's mid-February, and we're going to be a team that continues to get better. We're going to continue to commit to one another, commit to the practice court, and the rest will take care of itself. So we're going to control what we can control, and our guys have done a great job of that up to this point. We're going to do an even better job as we move forward.
TJ, you guys played the last 18 minutes without a turnover. How were you able to do that against that Houston defense?
Our guys, I give credit, Coach Schmidt, Coach Crawford on our staff do a great job with offensively for us in terms of, showing where rotations and where help comes from. And, similar to us, Houston's an elite defense, and they turn people over at a high rate. The challenge for us and for them is that our defenses are also somewhat predictable because you know where the rotations are coming from, and we take tremendous pride in being where we need to be. So I just think there's a mental toughness piece that comes into, like, you really want to take care of the basketball, and you know how important it is to be successful in a game like this, and for our guys to have the best performance we've had in terms of ball toughness against the best defensive team that we've played. It speaks a lot about how our guys take that coaching, especially from Coach Schmidt, Coach Crawford, and the solutions that they give them, and they put them into play in the game.
You talk a lot about stealing possessions. I think you guys had 3 offensive rebounds off missed free throws, including obviously that one from Taman late. Are those guys making plays? Did you guys take credit for that as a staff, or what are your thoughts?
No, I'd be lying to you if I didn't say we've watched a lot of film on free throw rebounding, because I think that's a very specific play that shows up in games. Obviously, J. Jeff kept some early in that first half. He kept some alive just by making extra effort, elite effort plays, and tipped them out. Certainly, Taman, the Taman plays that he makes. Everything's kind of like, there's off the script. There's no script when Taman's out there. He just finds a way to make plays that nobody else has ever seen a guy make, and he continues to make them, especially in key moments.
You had Milan ready to check in, I assume for Jamarian before they missed the free throw. He goes down and hits a 3. You set him back down. What kind of trust do you have in Bateman to be able to, we're going to roll with you in this situation when you got to sit a 50% 3-point shooter to do it? Yeah, no,
Milan's, he's earned the right. He's the best. He's having the best year and the best shooter and the best scorer, and he's had so many huge moments for us. And I think as a coach, every moment there's moving parts. There's things that change, and Jamarian Bateman is a tremendous worker, and we know if there's anything he's not going to be scared in the big moment. He's going to be a guy that, as a Cyclone, he makes a lot of big shots. So it's great that he had a big one tonight, but he's got a lot more in front of him. He just came off a great game against Kansas, and he's got many more ahead. So I just think it speaks to our team and the depth that we have and the ability for it to be anybody's night. And I think, to Milan's credit, he looked at me and he said, "You want me to go back to the bench?" Almost like he was halfway up already, saying, like, let him go. He's looking good. And so I think that speaks to what a great leader and teammate Milan is, because it's been his night so many nights this year, and in 26 outings, so many of the times it's been his night. So it's really cool to see him step up as a leader that way and say, hey, let the young guy go. He's got it rolling. And just really proud of how all of our guys carry themselves that way.
You've talked so much about your confidence in Nate Heisy throughout the last couple of years. For him to have that type of moment where everyone's kind of celebrating him inside of the building, what's it like for you as a coach who appreciates him as much as you do to see him have that individual moment?
Yeah, no, I really value Nate Heisy. Obviously, I'm going to just keep saying it. He's going to play great the rest of the way. Just trust me on that. I started saying it a few weeks ago. I know him, and I know what he's capable of, and I know what's in front of him. He's a winner. He's a competitor. I really value everything about him and how he plays and how he approaches the game, and put me on record. He's going to play great the rest of the way. I'm entirely confident in it, and I'm excited as heck for him to continue to just have these great moments that he works for and has earned over his career. It's great to see.
Is there a reason you waited until February to wait to press the Nate Heisy button?
I think as a coach, timing is everything.
TJ, what do you preach to your guards on the rebounding end, and how much of that comes naturally for guys like Nate and Taman?
Yeah, shoot, that finding ways to get loose balls, rebounds, deflections. Like, we really want to win in the margins in terms of getting more shots than our opponent. And tonight we didn't do that. Right? They got more shots than we did. Now we have more opportunities at the free throw line. But I think for us, we really look at that as something when we evaluate guards, we recruit guards. We want guys that can get you extra possessions and guys that can really finish on the glass. And I think there's a character piece to that. There's a competitive piece. Certainly there's a physical piece to it. And I mean, for Taman to have 8 rebounds in that game and Nate Heisy to have 6 defensive boards, I mean, we kept saying in the huddle, if we win the rebounding battle, we'll win the game. Unfortunately, we did not win the rebounding battle. We did in the first half, and I felt like we did late, but early in that second half, we weren't where we needed to be. And I think those guys took tremendous pride down the stretch in saying, we're limiting them to 1 shot, we're finishing with 2 hands, and just, again, great to see those guys step up and do it.
TJ, how do you balance winning a close game against the number 2 team in the nation with also going 11 of 22 from the free throw line?
Yeah, I mean, to me, it's just our guys continue to put in the work, and the work will show up for you in the game. It's not something that we dwell on. It's something that our guys continue to work at, and we'll continue to get better. I've got all the confidence in the world we'll be in key moments when we make big ones. So fortunate to find a way to come out with a win and leave a few of those on the table. We'll clean them up next game.
Seeing the way that Nate makes those toughness plays over and over again, while sometimes in the season not making shots, how have you seen Jamari and Bateman adopt some of those philosophies?
I think Nate's been a great example for Jamarian. Those guys have a great relationship. I think there's so many things defensively that Nate Heisy brings that Jamarian has learned from him and watching him. And I think when you bring that toughness and physicality defensively, it leans into what you do offensively. You have that same physical, aggressive mindset and mentality. And I think what you see in our program is the guys that really work and fight on the defensive end, it turns over for them on the offensive end. And Jamarian's, he's playing great, Nate's playing great, and it's been great for Jamarian to see the example that these older guys have set for him. And certainly he's a tremendous leader in his own right. And just, again, I think it's a credit to our guys how they learn from one another.
Last question.
As a staff, how do you balance preparation and recovery in between the Kansas game and the Houston game?
With the Kansas game, excuse me. So with the early game on Saturday, we felt like we had an opportunity Sunday to hit the practice court and compete. We didn't go long, but felt like, with the turnaround to an 8 o'clock game tonight, that we needed to earn it on Sunday. And our guys had a great mindset and mentality. It was competitive defensively. We really guarded. We knew that we had to be tough with the ball, and so I think our guys just have a very workman approach. I think a lot of teams, would expect a day off or a walkthrough on something like that. Our guys really embraced the practice court. Doing so allowed them to be successful tonight. So I just think you got to take it one step at a time and take it as it comes, and focus on what's right in front of you. And we had a great practice on Sunday, so it felt good that we would play well here tonight.
Thanks, everyone.